Ido, and welcome to the Pantheon, where today we're in Dungeons and Dragons world. We're having a look at a cheese. Catti-brie. Sorry about that. Of Mithral Hall. A green and a white for a 2/2 to human archer with first strike and reach. Then when it attacks, put a 1/1 count on it for each equipment attached to it. Then you can pay 1, remove all 1/1 counters from Catti-brie. It deals X damage to target attacking or blocking creature an opponent controls, where X is the number of counters removed this way. It's like one of the Javelineers from, years gone past. You can put some counts on it, remove them, deal some damage, and it's really nice. I like the sort of archer theme that they've gone for. It's really, really, really quite cool. I'm not sure what's happening in the art. Like, what are all those blue sort of specks? Is it snow? Probably snow. But anyway, I love cheese. Delicious in every single way, although it doesn't smell very good a lot of the time. Very much like this channel. And if you'd like to continue to smell this channel, please do subscribe. I'm going to be making lots of videos like this and, do whatever I want to do. So please join me. Without further ado, let's have a look at my top 5 for cheese. And in at number 5, we've got Synergies Senior Edificer. A lot of this deck is going to be built around equipment because, our commander wants to be attacking with equipment. So let's give her a bunch of equipments to attack with. And then we're going to get loads of counters. Synergies, 2 mana for a 2/2. Whenever you cast an aura, equipment, or vehicle spell, draw a card. So drawing a card, it's quite good. Well, from what I've heard, at least. I've never actually done it myself. But you want to be doing it as much as possible and just generating value from equipment. Armored Sky Hunter is a 4 mana 3/3 with flying. When it attacks, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may put an aura or equipment card from among them onto the battlefield. If an equipment is put onto the battlefield this way, you may attach it to a creature you control. Put the rest on a random order on the bottom of your library. Really, really nice. Essentially drawing you a card and also cheating it into play. This is phenomenal. It's a cat knight. What more could you be asking for? Absolutely great. And it has evasion. But, not all of the time you're going to be able to cheat things out. Sometimes you need to cast auras and equipment. And why don't we get around the equip cost? Sigarda's Aid, 1 white for an enchantment. You may cast aura and equipment spells as though they had flash. So this is even better because if we're attacking with a creature, we can surprise our opponent with a massive equipment attached to it. Whenever equipment enters the battlefield under your control, you may attach it to target creature you control. That is for free. So you can get loads and loads of value from that, just slamming it in there, or getting some armor, something that has a massive equip cost, loads of value. Then we've got Drannith Caption Paragon, I don't know. 3 mana for a 2/2 with first strike, vigilance, and lifelink. So those keywords are fantastic with equipment. Lifelink, gain all the life back. Vigilance, you can block as well as attack. Wonderful. And then aura and equipment spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. So a nice bit of sort of white ramp. It's an interesting sort of take on this. A lot of the deck will be equipment because of our commander. And why don't we have a god that could be an equipment? Halvar, God of Battle, is 4 mana for a 4/4 god. Creature control that are enchanted or equipped have double strike. Double strike, obviously incredibly powerful. Our commander has first strike, but double strike allows us to get in twice with whatever equipment is attached. At the beginning of each combat, you may attach target aura or equipment attached to a creature you control to target creature you control. bit wordy, but you can move those equipments across to something else if it's a better threat. Today you have a flyer and equipment attached to a non-flyer, move it to the flyer, get in for loads of damage. But sometimes you just want an equipment, so Sword of the Realms is the other half of Halvar. 2 mana for an equipment, crit creature gets +2% and has vigilance. Whenever a crit creature dies, return it to its owner's hand. And then it's got 2 mana. So this is great with anything that's got like an enter the battlefield effect. Say, Stoneforge Mystic, something like that. Can tutor up a different equipment if it dies. So Sword of the Realms really has a place in this deck. And then finally, we got the Planeswalker Nahiri the Lithomancer. 5 mana for a 3 loyalty Planeswalker, +2. Put a 1/1 core knight creature token into play. You may attach an equipment you control to it. So excellent. Cheats on equip cost. We've got a massive core. Blimey, he's big. Anyway, -2 may put an equipment card from your hand or graveyard onto the battlefield. The graveyard bit is what I'm really interested about there. Get anything that's been destroyed back, but you can just cheat in like a Cauldron Complete or something like that. Then finally, -10, put a Colors Artifact Equipment token named Stoneforged Blade onto the battlefield. It is indestructible, and equipped creature gets +5/+5 and has double stripe and equip for 0. This just turns absolutely anything on the field into a massive threat, including our commander. Then let's have a look at my number 4 pick. At number 4, we've got ways to search up equipment, because yes, we can just draw equipment through SRAM, things like that, but sometimes we want certain equipments, and that will become evident when I show you my number 1 pick. 1 white for a sorcery. Search your library for an equipment card, reveal that card, put it into your hand, shuffle your library. Absolutely amazing. It's cycling for a specific card. Oh, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Open the armory. Again, exactly the same card, but better. 2 mana for a sorcery. Search your library for an aura or equipment card, reveal it, put it into your hand, shuffle your library. Absolutely great. Get you exactly what you want at any given time. So does Stoneforge Mystic. 2 mana for a 1/2. When it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for an equipment card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle your library. And then it also allows you to cheat it into play. Pay 2, tap it, you may put an equipment card from your hand onto the battlefield. Absolutely incredible with any of the big equipments or any sort of combo equipments that we might want to find for this deck. I wonder if there is one. Stonehewer Giant. Very similar. 5 mana for a 4/4 with Vigilance, so it's a threat in and of itself if you don't have your commander on the field. Pay 2, tap it, search your library for an equipment card, put it into the battlefield, and then attach it to a creature you control. Does everything you want in an equipment deck, searches for the exact equipment you want, and puts it straight on there. Really, really awesome. Then we've got Nazan, Revered Bladesmith. 6 mana for a 5/4, so 6 mana, bit steep, but when it enters the battlefield, search your library for an equipment card and reveal it. If you reveal a card named Hammer of Nazan, which we might talk about in a second, put it onto the battlefield. Otherwise, put that card into your hand, shuffle your library. Whenever a quick creature you control attacks, you may tap target creature defending player controls. So that's a nice form of evasion, allows us to get in with like our swords and things that trigger on combat damage. Hammer of Nazan, 4 mana for a 4 equipment. When it or another equipment enters the battlefield under your control, you may attach the equipment to target creature you control. So nice cheating on equip cost. And a quick creature gets +2/+0 and has indestructible. Indestructible, very, very powerful with any sort of aggro commander. So a nice include. And then finally, Taj-Nar Swordsmith. 4 mana for a cat soldier, that's a 2/3. When it enters the battlefield, you may pay X. If you do, search your library for an equipment card with converted mana cost X or less, put it onto the battlefield, and then shuffle your library. Excellent bit of value. Really, really powerful. Which brings me on to my number 3 pick. And at number 3, well, we've got Cauldron Complete. I talked about it earlier. And this is a card that you just want to see it in play, don't you? It's so, so cool. 7 mana for an equipment with living weapons. So it comes in with a 0/0 attached. No, it's attached to a 0/0. It's not got a 0/0 just sort of hanging off it going, help. But a quick creature gets +5/+5, has first strike, trample, indestructible, haste, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a creature, exile that creature. And its equip cost is 7. And this is what I was talking about wanting to cheat on the equip cost. You know, you really want to make the most of it. But speaking of the completed version, why don't we assemble the original version? Sword of Kaldra is a 4 mana equipment. Quick creature gets +5/+5. Whenever a quick creature deals damage to a creature, remove that creature from the game, exile it, and equip for 4. But there's other parts to this. If you have Helm of Kaldra, 3 mana for equipment, quick creature has first strike, trample, and haste. And you can pay 1 if you control the equipment. Helm of Kaldra, Sword of Kaldra, and Shield of Kaldra, you get a 4/4 colorless avatar legend creature token named Kaldra, and equip all of these things to it. So it'll be a 9/9 with all of these abilities. And finally, Shield of Kaldra, 4 mana for an equipment. Quick equipment named Sword of Kaldra, Shield of Kaldra, and Helm of Kaldra have indestructible. Equipped creatures is indestructible. So this works really well with our commander. But just assembling them would be so, so cool to see on the field. It's just awesome. I'd love to see it. And with all of the tutoring that we're going to be doing in the deck, I think it's very, very possible. You know, these are just cool equipment. It's such a cool little mini game to play to try and assemble him. I love it. In at number 2, we've got Fractal Harness, another colour, well, I say another, a coloured equipment here. Sort of a rather new thing that we started to see. 3 mana and X for an equipment. And into the battlefield, create a 0/0 green and blue fractal creature token, put X 1/1 counters on it, and attach Fractal Harness to it. Quick cost for 2, and whenever a quick creature attacks, double the number of 1/1 counters on it. Now this works exceptionally well with our commander because our commander's ability depends on 1/1 counters on it. So when we attack, if we double that, we can then deal even more damage to an attacking or blocking creature. It's just amazing. I love it. It's just so cool and works so well. And this sort of +1/+1 sort of strategy is very unique for this specific aggro commander, I think. Invigorating Surge, 3 mana for an instant, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control, then double the number of 1/1 counters on it. So the thing is, our commander's activated ability, yes, it's really cool and can be work as removal, but just having loads of 1/1 counters on a creature, it's going to be lethal by itself. You can just plow in for ridiculous amounts of damage. Then Colonian Hydra, 5 mana for a 0/0 with trample. When it enters the battlefield, it comes in with 4 1/1 counters on it. When it attacks, double the number of 1/1 counters on each creature you control. That's our commander. It's this. It's absolutely anything that you could ever want. Then it's Vigor. 6 mana for a 6/6 with trample. My brain just started to turn to mush there. If damage would be dealt to another creature you control, prevent that damage. Put a 1/1 counter on that creature for each 1 damage prevented this way. So even if our commander gets blocked or whatever creature we're attacking gets blocked, yes, okay, we don't get the damage due to an opponent, but our creature's just going to be absolutely massive. And look at that artwork. Look at that stalk standing on the big beast. It reminds me of waking up near Dave. Then, if it be put into a graveyard from anywhere, shuffle it into its owner's library. Which brings me on to my number 1 pick, and I talked about like a little combination that we could have in this deck, and it's based on this card. Blade of the Blood Chief. 1 mana for an equipment. Whenever a creature dies, put a 1/1 counter on equipped creature. If a equipped creature is a vampire, put 2 counters on it instead, and equip for 1. Now, we're not playing vampires, so the last bit doesn't matter, but our commander's activated ability can kill creatures. So, if we use our commander's activated ability, say it's got 6 counters on it, we kill a 6/6 that's blocking or blocked, or attacking, or whatever it is. Then we get a counter back onto it. That's okay, so we can kill a 1/1, and then we get another 1/1 counter. But what about if our commander had Death Touch? That means, with Basilisk Collar, 1 mana for equipment, quick creature gets Death Touch and Lifelink and equip, any amount of damage that our commander would deal would be lethal. So, with Blood Chief, whatever it is, and Basilisk Collar, we can deal 1 damage by paying 1. Okay, that dies. Get a 1/1 counter. Pay 1 damage, 1 damage, 1 damage, 1 damage. Absolutely control the board of all creatures. It's fantastic. And we're going to be gaining life. Another way to give Death Touch, because, you know, our commander has First Strike as basic. So, Death Touch and First Strike, the way it works is we deal First Strike damage. The opponent creature dies. Then we just don't get dealt damage. Quater Strike, Spike. 3 mana for an equip 3. Quick creature does Death Touch. But also, when it deals combat damage to a player, that player loses half his or her life total. Rounded up. So that's really, really powerful. And it just works so well in the deck. But both Basilisk Collar and the Blood Chief Blade or whatever it was, are 1 CMC cards. And they have a converted mana cost and mana value of 1. So, Urza's Saga is a land that's an enchantment. And when it enters, it gets the ability tap for a course. Then on the next turn, it, makes a construct, which actually will be pretty goddamn big because it gets +1/+1 for each artifact control, and we're going to have an absolute ton of equipment. But the final stage is it goes to the graveyard, search your library for an artifact card with mana cost 0 or 1, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. So this searches for both Basilisk Collar and the Blood Chief's Blade. It's incredible and works so well. And, if you're not going for that sort of combination, search up a Soul Ring. Why not? Then, if we've got Death Touch on our commander, let's give Death Touch to a couple of other archers, because archers are cool. They are really, really cool. And Brigid, Hero of Kinsbale, is one of the cooler ones. 4 mana for a 2/3 with First Strike. Then you can tap it. It deals 2 damage to each attacking or blocking creature target player controls. So, if this has Death Touch, that means it'll deal 2 damage that will kill absolutely everything that's attacking and blocking. Very, very powerful. Then we've got Arcus Acolyte. 2 mana for a 2/2 with reach and lifelink. Outlast for either a green or a white. Which means you tap it, pay a green or white, put a 1/1 counter on this creature, and you can only do that as a sorcery. But each other creature you control without a 1/1 counter on it has Outlast, which is really good with our commander. It just gives us another way to get a 1/1 counter on it so we can ping something if, we want to. And we can keep doing the Outlast each turn, so all of our creatures can keep growing and growing and growing. Then we've got Skyway Sniper, another archer. 1 green for a 1/2 with reach. And then you can pay 3, it deals 1 damage to that creature with flying. So if we have Death Touch on this, just 3 mana just kills any flyer. And lots of people like to play big old dragons, don't they? So this can kill absolutely all of them. And those are my top 5 cards for this new commander. Going into it, I thought it was going to be pretty dull and boring, but there's quite a lot to it. And there's some interesting cards that you can play with it. You can play Bloodchief's Blade in a non-vampire deck. Who would have thought it? Really, really cool. If you enjoyed this video, please do like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Bye.